Welcome to the Be That Healing Girl podcast. And today we're going to talk about the hidden damage that overthinking does in your relationship, okay? So, if you are the type of girly that gets really freaked out if there's, say, for example, a delay in their text message or communication in general, and you start to go through the text like a little trash panda trying to dig up what you said wrong or what went wrong, or maybe you had a fight and you want to rehash it. So you're just kind of thinking about what you said during the fight and what he said, and oh my gosh, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Or maybe you try to plan the perfect speech. I could remember just like laying down in the middle of the night, thinking about what I wanted to say and rehearsing it and thinking about it over and over and over again. So if that is you, then this is a great episode for you. Make sure you listen to the end because we've got some good stuff. And if you're new here, my name is Claire. I'm a relationship coach and I love helping high achieving, high performing girlies. So say you climb the corporate ladder, you're crushing it, you're getting the corner office, or maybe you are an academic, you've got some letters behind your name, doctor, lawyer, things like that. Or maybe you're an entrepreneur, maybe you have multiple businesses or you've built one big business. And while you are crushing it on paper you are getting paid and you're doing the thing, but secretly you are just spiraling with anticipation and anxiety and worrying about what's going to happen next. And it's really having an effect on you and the relationship. And honestly, they're probably a really good person. And somehow your mind is just getting in the way. And so there's a lot of damage that can happen. And yeah, I'm really excited that you're here. And if you're enjoying this episode or any other episode, hitting the 5 stars, leaving a review means so much. It's just me and the camera here, and I'm doing this, sitting down and having a conversation in your earbuds. Hitting the 5 stars is your way of saying thank you. It keeps the podcast free, and it really means a lot. So thanks for doing that. And just a little roundup of what's happening. I love to kind of keep you guys in the loop around what's going on in my life because I have just been really honestly having a pretty decent time, a good time. I'll just say even good with the cleanse that I'm experiencing. It's not a diet. That's been kind of hounded into me. It's not a diet. I mean, are there some dietary rules that I have to follow momentarily while we're preparing for this big retreat that Craig and I are doing? We're attending the same retreat, but it's really, we're handling it differently. I'm doing it for my reasons and he is too. And it's really a big deal. We had a gear demo recently, and it just made me think about it's outside in the wilderness, and it made me think about the first and only time. Well, actually, I have been like outdoors, maybe not in this type of camping before, but let me just lay the scene of what we might experience or what I'll be coming back to you and reporting for you around this outdoor silent retreat for a couple days. We did a little stint, Craig and I. We did a little camping. I'd say like, gosh, it must have been, we had my old Westies. So this is probably 6 or 7 years ago. And we decided to go, we live in Colorado, to go to the mountains and try it on. And I just remember laying in my sleeping bag in the middle of the night and feeling like the Blair Witch Project. Like, I swear I could hear everything. And I was apparently tossing and turning. I thought it was our dog. And Craig in the middle of the night goes, "If you two don't shut up, I'm going to lose it." And it was so, honestly, it's so funny because I could just imagine I was tossing and turning. I couldn't, in that mummy bag, I couldn't lay on my stomach. So I was trying to figure out a comfortable position and I just couldn't. And it was super weird, but it's all going to get figured out. And so that's just to give you the lay of the land. We did do RV life for 3 years, which was super fun, but that's really glamping. You're not really outside in a tent. And yeah, so we did the gear demo. It's getting closer and closer. I can't wait to give you guys the full report of my experience there. And I'm dropping in stories and on TikTok a little bit more about what it's like. And yeah, I've never done something like this and it really feels exciting. It feels like a huge commitment. It is a huge commitment. And I can't wait to see what opens up around the awarenesses over here. And I just want to dive into this topic around like the hidden damage. And I just want to say, like, it can be so obvious the damage. Maybe your overthinking is causing a fight. A common one that I hear about and that my clients tell me is that they made up a fake scenario or they were overthinking and it caused a fight. That's kind of an obvious in your face damage that overthinking can do. It can be making up a fake scenario and then confronting them about said fake scenario or making things up in your head. That's obvious damage. But I wanted to talk today about the hidden damage that can happen. And I can guess that this is happening to you on some level, on some kind of regular basis, right? Where you are, say there's something with communication. This is like kind of one bucket that I notice this happens a lot, where there is a delay in communication. They are not texting as frequently, or they're just, they didn't respond right away. And so that kind of can spiral you into thinking, oh my gosh, are we okay? Like, yeah, maybe we had that little disagreement, but is that making us more distant? Is he needing some time? That's an example. Or maybe there was an actual disagreement and over food, or I don't know, name a disagreement. And you start to think about, well, wow, what if I had said this differently? Or what if I hadn't brought it up in this way? And you start to kind of mince and dice. Or maybe you are overthinking because of an actual fight. Maybe you had a fight and you are in the aftermath. And I just totally know this aftermath because to me, it used to feel like it was like a hangover that you had a fight and then the next day you're just like no good at work. You are exhausted. Literally, you feel exhausted. But so you have the fight and you're thinking about what was said, what wasn't said. You wish you had said it this way. Or maybe there's just like overall tension, right? Maybe you're just feeling like a little grind or a little rub around the relationship, or you feel like the vibe is off and it kind of sets you off into this in your head and you're thinking about things. So those are, I guarantee, if you found me or you're following my page, like this might be you. And to top it all off, this is like the thing that I know is even more frustrating. Overall, they're a really good partner. They're showing up for you, they're consistent. And if not, that's like a totally different topic. But let's say that is happening. And I just want to say that the big part that I think is really important is it's not about saying something perfect. A lot of times, overthinking, not a lot of times, the majority of the time, it is a safety strategy. If you have anxious attachment, if you have relationship anxiety, what is kicking on with the overthinking is that you're feeling unsafe. So if you feel unsafe, it's like a burglar alarm. There's going to be a trigger, right? There's going to be something like I think about Tom Cruise and Mission Impossible, literally like 1,000 years ago, where he's floating and there's like a tripwire. Overthinking is this safety strategy, right? I talk a lot in my community in one-on-one coaching around the strategies that we use. And overthinking is obviously, well, or maybe not obviously to you, but it is a safety strategy. And the tough thing about overthinking is, especially if you're a high achiever. Now, this is like where I feel in the crosshairs, this is going to maybe hit you right in the heart, is that a lot of times overthinking is that it's a safety strategy that's disguised as being productive, right? In your head, you're thinking about, what can I say? What can I do? There's a lot of focus on being productive, and it feels productive. Like you can often feel, I just remember for me, it felt like I ran 5 miles. I felt so like I felt like a compulsion. And I'm just saying this because I used to have a little thing about running. It wasn't healthy. It can feel like a big compulsion, a big urge that you can't help yourself to, and it's exhausting and it's hard. And at the same time, when you're done with it, you feel just totally wiped, because that overthinking can feel like it's necessary. It feels good to do it. And God forbid somebody try to stop you from doing the overthinking. It's like you're hell bent. You're probably going to do it. And a lot of that is because it's a strategy that you know well, up and down, in and out. And the most hidden damage with this is when you're in that, okay, I'm overthinking, it feels really good. I can figure it out in my mind. I'm doing something by thinking about it. Your focus is around the doing versus the being. And I'm just smiling because I'm thinking about every single one of my one-on-one clients. This is something that we hammer within the first couple minutes of coaching. And it's so interesting because I'm just thinking about one of my newer clients, and we were doing this process. And it's so incredible as you start to refocus on who you are being in relationship. It's like the shift is almost automatic. And I have a whole process that I walk clients through, and it's part of our daily actions. And it really is incredible when you start to focus on who you're being. And I was thinking about another client that it was really kind of a rough start for her to focus on who she was being versus what she was doing in the relationship. And she's getting married and there's a lot happening. And what's been so incredible to watch her really take this into stride is that she feels so much more at peace and at home in herself now that she's focused on the beingness. And when we are focused on the doing, that's the hidden damage. When you're focused on doing something, it's like being at your birthday party. You're throwing a birthday party for yourself and you've got other people around, and all you can do instead of spending time with your friends, spending time with your family, enjoying the birthday cake, you're busy making guacamole. You're trying to nail down the perfect guacamole instead of being with your people and enjoying your frickin' party. That's the hidden damage of overthinking. It actually takes you out of the relationship. It isolates you in the relationship because you're busy making guacamole, busy doing the overthinking instead of actually connecting in the relationship. And when we're focused on the being and we understand and we learn how to relax into who we're being, you have more honesty in your relationship, you're more real, and it actually creates softness. And I know that's a big thing and on TikTok right now, or just on the social media, that how do I be soft? And when you're an overthinker, when you're a high performer, you have a lot of practice in rigidity and in being hard, because that's what's required a lot of times in, for example, financial success or academic success. You have to be really rigid and not go out and party and study and work extra hours. Like, there's a lot of rigidity in that. So a lot of times we lose touch with how to be soft in our relationships. So one of the most hidden damages that we do is not understanding who to be and focusing on what we do in relationships. So that being said, this upcoming month in the Healing Girl Gang, it's all about overthinking. And so when we are in the Healing Girl Gang, it's all about trainings. There's a master class, there's an implementation day, because I'm big about the how. And there's so many components besides the master class, the implementation day, there's an action taker toolkit, there's an overthinking detox. I literally lay out the how to stop the overthinking. And I know we do an overthinking detox every single month, but this month is specifically about overthinking. So really excited about that. And speaking of which, one of the fun things that we do here on the potty is we answer a question from a Healing Girl Gang member. So let's do it. Okay, Suzanne. Suzanne says, my boyfriend and I have been together for 1 year. Congratulations. Awesome. We've discussed long-term plans with each other, marriage, kids, etc., and are on the same page. Yay. We both agreed that there's things we want to work on within ourselves before we take any steps. Essentially, we want to work on healing our insecure attachments because we know marriage isn't going to fix anything. Amen, Suzanne. And something that we are working on is balance within our relationship. We have a pattern of spending so much time together and neglecting our own needs for space, personal time, because we genuinely love spending time together, that we end up running on fumes. We get grumpy, impatient with each other. So I'm trying to learn how to be more comfortable with space and time with myself, while he's trying to learn how to be more comfortable with closeness. Gosh, this is so great. My struggle is that I feel great after 1 day apart, but after 2 or 3 days apart, I can feel my anxious attachment firing up. I start to overanalyze text messages, emojis, punctuation, pet names, and can feel myself wanting to place bids for attention. I know I need to sit in the discomfort as part of the healing process, but I'm so impatient. Any advice? Okay. So Suzanne, like honestly, this whole message is I can tell why you're in the Healing Girl gang because you have a lot of self awareness. That's like one thing that is my client flex. All of my clients have definitely a high level of self awareness. And with that being said, everybody has a blind spot, your girl included. Okay. I have a coach, I get support, I have community because don't trust a coach doesn't have a coach. All right. But what I love about this is you're very self-aware. And I just want to say this. And to me, I really see attachment and relationship as a spectrum. And so on one end of the spectrum, we have hyper independence, okay? And that's like on I don't need no man. And you see this online. Like people are very just like F men and F relationship and I don't need anybody. And that's just to me, that's a bunch of hoopla and smoke because we are wired for connection. We're wired to be social animals. So to me, that's just a big old strategy and a big old trauma response around I don't need anybody because we do. We need people. And then on the other end of the spectrum is codependency, where however somebody feels affects how I feel. And right there in the middle is what I like to call interdependency. And so I just want to normalize if you feel after a couple days, it's normal to miss somebody. And I think the big thing here is that that's okay. It's okay that you miss somebody. It's kind of like it's okay if you're hungry, right? I'm not saying starve yourself. That's not an answer. That's not healthy. But hunger cues are good. It tells you that your metabolism is working. And so it's I just want to address like if you miss somebody after 2 or 3 days, well, that makes sense. Like you're building a life together and you enjoy spending time together. It's okay and healthy to miss somebody. It's what you make that missing mean. I don't know if that's a real sentence. It's what you make of missing somebody. It's what you make that mean. And then what actions or behaviors you do because of that, right? Just because you miss somebody doesn't mean then you have to swing right back and spend all your time together. It doesn't mean anything other than you just miss somebody, right? So this is one of the things that we unpack in the Healing Girl Gang, as you'll find out, is how, and in fact, we have a whole training, I think it was in March, around what you make things mean. And along with that, it's kind of like trying to decode behavior. And this is kind of feeling like that, like, what does it mean? And it's been 3 days and you kind of find yourself sneaking back into that. And I just want to say with a lot of love, it's normal to miss somebody and it doesn't have to mean something, right? It doesn't have to mean anything about the relationship or anything is wrong. And your safety strategy is getting triggered, right? And it just takes an understanding of that, more deeper attention, deeper work around it. Doesn't mean anything's broken. So, Suzanne, so glad you're in the gang. Sending you lots of love. When we have this hidden damage, what we want to do is reveal it. We want to expose it so we can address it. All right. Sending you lots of love, everyone. Mwah.